Hi there, and welcome to the Creatives Get Real podcast. I am Roben-Marie Smith.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about the creative life.
Hey there.
Hey, Robin.
What are we talking about in this episode?
Well, it's something that I know a little bit about.
You do.
We're going to talk about coaching. I'm sure we both get this question, like, what is coaching?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have a coach? When do you get a coach? What is it like?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we would talk about it.
I think it's a good idea because before I started working with you in that capacity, I really didn't understand what a coach does. I think in my mind I had, and I know there are different types of coaches.
Right.
You know, there's life coaches, there's business coaches, there's different kinds. And so it was sort of like, do I need one? How can they really help me? Is it, I think I know what I'm doing and what I want. So why do I need a coach?
Yeah. So why would you?
Well, that became obvious once we started talking.
Well, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what coaching is.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is one of the types of coaching. And what I like to think of it is as I just help people understand what their desires are, organize their thoughts, and really get a plan of action so that they know what they want, how to get there, and then a plan for it.
Right.
And then to have support, encouragement, and oftentimes people like to brainstorm with me, or they send me things that they have written or done and said, I'd like your honest feedback on this.
Right.
How do you perceive this? Is this the way, is this coming across the way I want it to?
Right.
So that's what I do a lot of.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, at least for me, that makes it such a great asset is when you get to know your client, the person that you're working with, you and I are friends anyway, and you knew me well before we started working together as a coaching, in that relationship. But you know me well, you know my strengths, you know my weaknesses, you know I have this, shiny object thing going where it's like, and you help me stay focused and be like, okay, we've talked about this before on another podcast. Stay in your lane, let's get, but you're also, you ask the right questions for me. And it's almost like it's a discovery process. It's like I kind of already know the answers, but I just need you to ask the questions so that it helps guide me. Right. To be like, okay, yes, this
is the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do have a background in social work. So this is something that, I've done before in my life. Not particularly coaching, but having, a relationship with a client.
Right.
So, yeah, and I love relationships and I love, people and talking about important things and watching people grow. I mean, that's my favorite part is to start with someone and then 3 months later look back and say, do you even recognize yourself? Because I don't recognize you.
And I will attest, she does get very excited about that. I mean, it is very rewarding. But doesn't that process though, I mean, you benefit so much from it because it's definitely a strength that you have, but you're also a creative. So you provide that perspective to that aspiring creative, whether it's starting a business, they want to start a business, or whether they want to just have a plan and the confidence to take the steps to get to just sharing their art online, or whatever that, might be. And you have that unique perspective because first you're great as the coach in that sense, but you also understand the business because you're a creative.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I like to say that I recognize their mistakes because I've already made them.
Right.
It's like, oh, I know what you're doing. Yeah. I did that too.
Exactly.
Let me help you. We're gonna jump right over that mistake, and I'm gonna help you not make it. Let me tell you what I did, and here's what I've learned from it. Right.
Now, do you prefer to work with your clients face-to-face, like through video? Does it help you get a feel for them more, or a phone call? Like, what is your,
video?
Yeah. And I like that best too.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, I would love it if I could meet people face-to-face in person, but I'm coaching people across the U.S., so that doesn't work.
Right.
But yeah, it has to be video for me. I'm very visual. And plus, I mean, there's so much information that you get from someone's body language that if I couldn't see it, I wouldn't be a very good coach.
Yeah. Yeah. It does help a lot when you
Right.
can. Yeah. Yeah. You learn a lot about somebody just from that. Facial expressions.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody has a tell, you know, like when they're nervous, or you can just like, okay, you're really uncomfortable. So
I know what mine is.
scratching.
I start scratching and I don't even know I'm doing it. And she like zeroes right in on that. We got the scratches going on here.
Yeah.
You're nervous.
What's wrong?
Yeah, you're anxious. What's going on? Yeah.
Let's stop here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make you comfortable
So
again.
when does somebody reach a point where they could use a coach? You know, what does that look like for somebody?
I think that is so individual and personal, because some people need a coach from the very beginning because they don't, like, they have dreams, but they're not sure exactly what they are. They're afraid to say them out loud. So those people just need the encouragement to even speak the words. Then there are other people that come along that they have it written down. I mean, it's organized, it's in an outline. And I know, the outline girl, I know you listen to this podcast, you know I'm talking about you. I mean, it's amazing. She sends me these detailed outlines that, as an organized person myself, I'm just like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So everybody's different.
Right.
And that's the way I like to coach. Many coaches do packages for pricing. That's something I don't do because I want to tailor each one specifically to the person and where they are.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we've kind of talked about what coaching is and why you would go. The answer to why is name it. Everybody has a different reason. It can be, I want to develop a product. I want to start a business. I want to share my art and I don't know how. I don't have the confidence.
Right.
It can be anything. I want to teach some sort of class online, share my knowledge.
Right.
How do I do that?
And it's overwhelming because, you know, maybe it's a situation where, like for me, I have so many ideas and there's so many things that I want to do. And I'm just trying to work through it, talk it through. You know, you're able to ask the questions and then I'm able to figure out, okay, this doesn't make sense now, or this is a good plan, go this route. But it's hard sometimes just to get your thoughts out and figure it out. But talking to somebody, it just makes sense. And you're really, I know that I come away from sessions going, all right, I have some clarity now. I have some focus, and what I joke around is, I need to have a call because I need to talk me off the ledge. Not, you know, I mean, I know that's kind of like really scary, but it's not. But it's this idea of like, okay, I've reached this point now where I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And
help.
Yeah. And sometimes I really do know what to do. I just need to talk it through.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and then you ask the right questions and I'm able to just work through it. And
and to have someone else validate you and say, yes, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
That is it.
Right.
I agree with you. That's what you're saying. Let's do that.
Yeah. Or it's just fear. That's all it is. You can do this. You know, you've been here before. And and that makes such a difference.
It does.
Now, do clients who come for coaching, is it a short-term thing, a long-term thing? I mean, what does that look like?
Yeah, it can be either. I have some long-term relationships where, you know, we've been coaching for months and months and months and months. It's not every week. You know, we do it according to a person's needs and budget. You know? So it's long-term relationship where, like, let's say an artist or some sort of maker is having a career change. Like, I've been doing X for 20 years, but I really want to change to Y now. Can you help me transition?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. So it could be that, or it could be short term where I have this idea. I want you to help me get my thoughts organized, and then I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's do that. So each person gets to decide what they need. And sometimes it's short term, and then they're gone, and then they pick back up in 4 or 5 months and say, okay, I've gotten all that we talked about done. Now let's talk about the next part.
Okay. Well, okay, so here's a question our audience might be thinking and wanting, hey, ask this question. How does someone choose a coach? How do they decide, do I need a life coach, a business coach? What does that look like? And how do you find the right person for you?
Right. I think what you do is, first of all, I would want recommendations from a friend if that was available. And then I would go to the coach's website. I would Google it, find coaches, and then go to their website and read what they say and what kind of coach they are. And they will tell you. Okay. And you'll get a better idea if you fit. And then what I do, I don't know what every other coach does, but what I do is I always do a complimentary, at no charge, video chat where we talk about what is it that you need. It's a consultation.
Right, exactly.
What do you need? And then we feel, are you ready for a coach? Am I the right coach? Do our styles gel?
Right.
And if they don't, then I'm going to tell you, I'm not the right fit for you. Please go find the person that is.
Or maybe they're not ready. Or that could be the case, right?
I might give them homework and say, when you've answered these questions, come back, then you're ready.
Okay.
But until you've at least decided this part, we don't really have anything to talk about.
Okay.
So that can be difficult.
Yeah.
So that's how I would do it.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. How did you find your coach? Sitting across the table?
Yeah. She said, we have to have a difficult conversation. No. It was a natural transition because as a friend, you've helped me so many times with various things. And I think because you just know me so well, you know what I want. And I think it became more obvious probably not last year, but maybe the year before, because I was really going through a big transition.
Right.
And that I was struggling with that. Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? And they were big decisions.
They were huge.
They were huge. And so it was like, I really need some help. And now, we'll say, I need a call with you as a coach, or it's like, can we talk as a friend? It's kind of, you're wearing both hats, but it helps that we've known each other for so long. And so it just was a natural transition. I just knew that it was time to, okay, I need those honest conversations, although you had those with me before that. You would say, no, this is what I'm hearing, but that's not what you're doing or whatever.
Right.
And it has made a difference because it's just helped me stay focused. And as you said earlier, validate that. Yes, based on everything that you've said and all the things that you're saying and what we're discussing, this is the right decision. Right. And then the encouragement to make it happen and to say, just keep, stay focused, keep on that track, and you'll get there. But that was really, I guess, the turning point was I just had so many big decisions I had to make.
Right.
And it was hard for me to do it on my own because I just needed another voice to say,
you need feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does this sound right? Am I on the right track?
Am I crazy? What, have I lost my mind? Yeah. Yeah. So
I love to think of the coaching relationship almost, like that special thing that you do just for yourself, like a manicure, a pedicure, a massage, because when you have a coach, during that session, you are the center of attention. It's all about you. This is your time.
Right.
And you can say whatever you need to say and you get the answers. And you don't have to be focused on anyone else.
Right.
And there are not many times in people's lives when they get to be solely focused on themselves.
Right. And because we tend to be loners, we're working alone, we just don't have that, we might have friends and we're kind of bouncing each other, ideas, but having a coach who is like, okay, like you said, this is, whatever, that hour, I'm solely yours. I mean, literally when I get off a call, I can feel stress, it's just relieved because I feel like, okay,
I'm so glad.
I'm focused again, and I feel like what was causing me some stress, it's like, I got this. No, wait a minute. You're overreacting to whatever, the fear, the stress. And I just feel better because I'm like, okay, I'm back on track, or I was on track. I just felt like I wasn't, or whatever. And so, and then just ideas, because it's also a brainstorming session too. Like Absolutely. I'll say, I've got this idea. What do you think? And then you're very good at going, well, what about that? This. And so it's a really great ping pong session of sometimes it's just, I need to brainstorm, as you mentioned earlier, or at times it's, And sometimes I have this difficult situation I have to deal with,
Right.
and I don't know how to handle this.
Right.
And that has really been helpful to me too, because you've helped me in that as well.
Yeah, sometimes we've composed emails together.
Yes. Yeah, because it's like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to say to this.
Yeah, how do I respond to this?
Yeah. Or I need to respond to this in a very diplomatic way, and I'm hurt, and I don't, I need to step back and, what does this sound like? How does this sound?
Right.
And you've been really helpful in that too.
Yeah,
so.
Does this still sound angry?
Yeah. Am I firm but gentle and kind? Yeah, I need to, yeah. So, yeah, you've really have provided some good advice in that department too. So,
well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what coaching is. It really is a special relationship. It's kind of like having a really good friend has specialized knowledge that you get to tap into.
Yeah, and you've said something before about it when you were talking about it being like going to the spa. It's really a gift to yourself. It's an investment in you. It's an investment in your business if you want to have a business or do. There's comes a time when you just need to have somebody in your on your team or in your corner, and it is so valuable. I mean, I know you're my coach, but I mean, seriously, guys, it really does make a difference. And I don't feel like I'm alone. And I feel like I've got somebody, if I need them, I can just say, look, I need some help with this. And it's good to have that person that's a good fit. That person needs to be a good fit as well.
They do.
And you need to also be ready and open to hearing things that are not always what you want to hear. Because sometimes that's the case. Right. And if you're open to that, then it would work. That kind of relationship can work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the most favorite thing I've ever done in my life. I love it. I love the relationship. And I want to encourage people, if you think you need a coach, go find one. Give it a try. You can always say no. You can always say, this isn't working.
Right.
So I'm going to move on. And that happens, sometimes if you're looking for a doctor or a dentist, you go to someone and go, yeah, that's not them. And not the right fit for me. And you move on. And this is the same kind of thing because it's a very personal relationship. So
it is.
It has to work. And if it doesn't, move on.
Yeah.
But when you do find that person, it really can be exciting.
Yeah.
Because the changes that happen in people with just a little guidance and reassurance and encouragement are astounding. And I just adore watching that happen.
So how can somebody who's listening, who's interested in contacting you, how can they reach out to you or find out more information about what you offer as a coach?
Well, luckily, my very good friend, Roben-Marie Smith, I don't know if you've heard of her, built me a beautiful website, and it is on my website. So you can go to sandikeene.com and go to my coaching page. And if you want to send me an email, please do, and we'll talk. But otherwise, find someone else. Find the person that's right for you or the type of coach that's right for you. But give it a try. I love that idea of this is my time.
Exactly.
It's all about me right now.
That's
I don't have to think about my family or my husband or my friends or my obligations. This is all me. Pick out your nail polish color and come sit down.
That's right. That's right. Well, great. Well, I enjoyed this conversation. I hope that it's shed some light on what it is to be a coach and also to work with a coach. And if any of you have any questions, don't hesitate to pop over to our Instagram feeds and ask. I know Sandi's very generous with her time, and I know she would love to hear from you and answer any questions. And also me, if you are curious about what it's like to kind of be on the other side as a client in that department, let us know. So
yeah, we'd love to talk about it.
Great. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
All right, take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We love hearing from you. So hop on over to Instagram and leave us a comment. And we also appreciate reviews on iTunes.
And you can find me, Sandi Keene, at sandikeene.com and my classes at popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me, Roben-Marie Smith, at robenmarie.com. And if you're looking for and need tech support, check out my membership site, makerstechu.com.